I've bought and tested 6 popular earbuds from Nakamichi, and after more than 1 month of testing, I'm here to tell you which one is good and which one is not. Stay tuned till the end because I actually do find some to be pretty unique. So let's get started right now. Selamat pagi! Good morning everyone, Kenneth here and welcome to my Tested by Ken series where I continue to check out new brands out there and I try to focus on the budget ones first, which I know you will like. It's something like this spacious video I made here, so if that's up your alley, do subscribe to the channel and comment down below which brand do you want me to cover next. As always, you are getting my own honest opinion here and you can find my full disclosure down below. Also, please use the affiliate links below if you want to buy anything. I may get a small commission at no extra cost to you and it'll help me keep bringing these good contents for you. So with that said, let's get started with the first and the cheapest earbuds in the list, the Nakamichi TWS 1XS. At $8.4 US equivalent, actually let me repeat that again, 8.4, it literally attracts people with its price. And in my country, it's one of the most sold model from the brand, so they're doing something right, which on one side, I could say it's the sound quality, but also it is one of the biggest reason why you won't stay away. But let's start with what's good first, and for a half-in-ear, this is actually pretty surprising. It's got a strong bass response that doesn't feel like a cheap half-in-ear at all. Especially when you listen to softer and easier songs like acoustic, this is amazing. But as soon as the drum and bass guitar kicks in, even in simpler pop songs, you'll immediately hear distortion from trying to push the volume and bass too much. So yes, the volume is very loud, the sound is full-bodied, but is it acceptable to compromise on distortion to justify $8 price tag? I'll let you make the call, but one thing I can say is the 1XS has other true wireless aspects nailed down, like the good fit and size. It's actually very small. Cool transparent case design, USB-C charging, and also touch controls that includes volume control too, although volume down is on the right earbud for some reason, so it's flipped. But last but not least, you can use them individually or both as a stereo pair as you wish. Later, I'm gonna test all the microphones together so you have a good idea of how these compares, but if you wanna hear my thoughts, maybe consider the Halo GT6 instead. It's $12 with less bass, but still enough for daily use, and most importantly, it doesn't distort. Pretty much all the aspects, including the mic, is pretty good too. I'll link it down below if you wanna check it out. Okay, let me take a quick minute and tell you that Amazon Prime Day is coming and you don't want to miss getting the best deal on our sponsor of the day, the Soundcore Liberty 4NC. This is one of the best earbuds you could get in 2023 for many reasons, but the most important ones are the unbeatable ANC in the sub $100 price range because it's actually the first one that actively listens to your surrounding and adjusts the noise cancellation in real time. And not only that, you get great transparency mode, auto win noise reduction, and a ton of features that makes it the flagship killer of the year. Think about things like super long battery life, up to 10 hours per charge and 5 more times in the case. Then you've got wireless charging, wear detection sensor, multi-point connection, also amazing microphone quality with AI noise cancellation, so you can rely on these for your online meetings and calls just like what I did for these past couple months. Everything is simply top of the class. And it's Soundcore, right? Which means you're getting one of the best app support for things like controls customization and custom EQs that I've gone in detail in my review. So if you've been looking for a flagship earbuds that doesn't break the bank, this is gonna be your best bet. Check out the links in the description to get yours now. You're gonna love it, and thank you Soundcore for sponsoring this video. Alright, now let's get back to our second Nakamichi, and here we have a more reasonably priced $12 TWS 015. Another half-in-ear option that's actually the smallest one in today's video. So considering the price, you'd expect this to be better than the 1XS, right? Well, unfortunately, it's still another two-sided coin, as it is better in a sense that it doesn't distort anymore, the bass is more controlled, enough for daily use, and it's still very loud, like 50-60% is enough for even outdoor use. This is a half-in-ear, mind you. But on the flip side, we've got a problem, which is the treble that's just way too much. Like listening to Yoasobi songs at 60% volume is very fatiguing, sometimes to the point that I cannot bear listening to the whole song. When I lower the volume to 40%, which is where the treble is now acceptable, the bass presence is lowered significantly too. So no matter how you listen, this always gives a subpar experience, unless you go to a third-party equalizer app and then you lower the treble by yourself. But now, this is quite unfortunate because all the basics are nailed down, just like the One XS. It's got game mode on 4 taps, which is cool, but now you control volume with single taps and play pause is on tap and hold. I actually like this control scheme better as it avoids accidental touches, but it's just the first time I see touch controls differ so significantly within the same brand. And to be honest, I would still recommend the same Halo GT6 for the less headache you will get down the line. Moving on to our third one, here we have the Nakamichi TWS 016 ENC, and let me find one for you. I think this is it. And I know at this point we are lost in their naming system, especially because each model looks so different, and it's better to recognize this one as the gaming half-in-ear model because the case and the earbuds has these LED light stripes, you see? So at a bit over 17 bucks, this is finally a decent sound quality that shines, especially in the vocal region. It highlights the upper mids to make it sound clear without being fatiguing, and while the bass could use a little bit more oomph, I can say that this is a good balance overall, one that I can recommend for the price. And definitely one of the best sounding half-in-ear from the company yet. Although one thing to keep in mind is all of these half-in-ears we're talking about so far has audible hissing when music is not playing. Fortunately, you can only hear this in very quiet rooms, so when music is playing, you just cannot hear it anymore. It's not that much of a deal breaker. Some other good things about the 16 ENC is the audible clicks whenever I tap the touch sensor. Gaming mode is still here on 4 taps, and here we've got another way to control volume, which is tap and hold for volume control and 1 tap for play and pause. So if you notice, the control scheme changes yet again, making this brand one of the most confusing in terms of controls. Although it's good to see that at least volume control is always there, no matter which model you choose. But if I have to pick one, I'll probably go with the smaller TWS 015 controls here. But if I'm allowed to nitpick, the size of this stem is actually quite big, despite having the exact same battery as the TWS 015 right here. Look at the size difference. And that's the same case for the case. I'm sorry. So maybe it's purely just to get the mic closer to your mouth. Together with the ENC, it will have better call quality. We'll test that at the end of the video, so stay tuned and we'll check it out by ourselves. Alright, now let's move on to the 4th earbuds in the list, and don't worry, the name gets even more confusing, but here we are with the Nakamichi TWS 022 ENC. Sold at almost the same price as the 16 ENC right here. I see this as an in-ear version for those who prefer silicone tips, and instantly, because of that sound isolation, this is hands down the best sound quality from all the Nakamichis in this video. The sound character is on the warmer and bassy side, but when the time calls for it, like in The Weekend by SZA, the 22 ENC easily delivers satisfying and powerful sub-bass rumble, and it's not bad for other genres as well because the prominent bass punch does not muddy out the vocals. It's got nice details for the price. It is pretty enjoyable for long listening periods too, and it doesn't have any hissing, even in quiet rooms as well. I'm also not a stranger to this design. We have seen it from Ugrun before, and it is a very comfortable shape that doesn't stand out too much. It's easy to adjust and hold the earbuds without accidentally touching the sensor, and I love the slight chrome accent on the buds right here. Hands down, one of my favorite design from the brand yet. As for the touch controls, we still have the instant audio feedback for every tap, which is nice, and looks like they settled on tap and hold for volume control here, just like the 16 ENC. But touching briefly on volume, this is actually one thing that Nakamichi always delivers. Like 30-40% is enough for indoors, 50-60% for outdoors, and the drivers are capable of going up to 90%, which is very loud. But if you max it out, only the mid to treble will increase, and that's deaf territory anyway, so I won't recommend anyone using it. If I have one thing to complain here, it's gonna be the size of the case, because it's quite bulky to put in pockets, although to be fair, it carries the most battery inside, although not by much. They only claim 28 hours total, so about 6 hours-ish per charge, and the previous model is around 4 hours per earbud, so nothing special, but not too bad either. 4 hours is like the bare minimum for me. Having said that though, I appreciate the lid that stays open right here, and a battery indicator that shows down to 1% accuracy up here. This is actually quite nice, and if you're gonna buy from Nakamichi, you will have to consider getting this one first. Alright, I hope this video has been useful so far, and if you appreciate that, please hit the thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. We're down to the last 2 earbuds, and our 5th Nakamichi here. We have the most expensive one yet, the TW120NC. But of course, by expensive, I'm talking about 20 bucks, so it's still on the budget side, but you're finally getting a NC, which is a real active noise cancellation that lowers down your surrounding noise. But my question is, at what cost? Firstly, the voice prompts. I usually never complain about this, but it feels like they're shouting at you here. And it's not just the first time you wear the earbuds, it'll say, connected. But whenever you tap and hold the right earbud to change ANC modes, I still get shocked even now from it saying, ANC mode, ANC off, transfer mode. And it's really a shame because these voice prompts don't interrupt the music, and the performance is actually pretty good. Like the low rumbles of fan noise, AC, engine noise, these sort of stuff are gone with no hissing. Of course, don't expect the mid to high frequency to get noise cancelled. Those are reserved for the more expensive ANC earbuds. Maybe the only thing I could complain is there's a very tiny electronic sound on the right earbud that you can hear when you are in a quiet room. But play music and it'll be gone. Transparency is also alright. It releases the in-ear pressure quite well, and when you talk you don't hear as much bone-conducted sound. I really like that. But somehow it makes you feel like you're in an airplane with a constant upper mid engine noise. But then here's the deal breaker, and you know it. It's gonna be the sound quality. And my goodness, this thing sounds so muffled because of the huge bass boost. And maybe for those of you who don't really care about sound quality, you can still probably use this for EDM and most pop songs, but I'm really pushing it. Just please do yourselves a favor, save a little bit more money and get the 25 bucks Moondrop Space Travel instead. You'll live much better days. Trust me, or to be honest, say any other brand, even the Bacious is better than this. Finally, our last earbuds is something quite special, a very unique design I've never seen anywhere else, and this is the Nakamichi OPTW, there's no S, 001. This is a 13 bucks open ear earbuds that you clip on your earlobe like this. Look at it. Very interesting, right? So technically this is still a half in ear because it still goes halfway into your ear, unlike the truly open buds from Shocks, Allthedents, or One Audio that don't touch your ear at all. It makes all the difference here because these ear clips, I would say, still hurt when you use it for extremely long periods, like almost 4-6 hours at a time, because they pull down on your bottom ear. Now, of course, this differs from person to person, even ear to ear, since I don't notice the same discomfort on my left ear. I really did have it on the whole day long, so that's quite crazy, and huge props to Nakamichi for creating a half-in-ear that does away with the stem. This is the only one, aside from the Samsung Galaxy Beans from so many years back, to not copy the AirPods, and I love it. Some interesting use cases with these buds are you can use the right earbud and clip it on the left ear, like what I just did here. And I use it a lot when I want to change sides, when lying down in bed, for example. But if you ask, pushing this against a pillow will become uncomfortable. And touch controls are on the back part where the logo is here. So you're gonna tap it like this. And unfortunately, this is the only one that doesn't have volume control because there's nothing on single tap, probably to avoid accidental touches. But play pause now is on double tap, next song on tap and hold, and some might find this useful. By tapping this 4 times, you can call your last number, like those who left a missed call. All that is good, just unfortunately we have to fit in a very tight budget, which means sound quality feels like the least important thing here. And also the mic quality, as you will see later. Like, my standard is so low, as long as it makes a sound, I can still watch videos. And for listening to music, this felt like a combination of one XS, where every drum hit feels like it distorts a little bit. It doesn't also give that sub-bass oomph, and the treble gets quite dominant like the TWS 015 right here. although fortunately it's not as piercing. I honestly just use this when watching YouTube or anime, or I just keep it on the whole day in case I'm scrolling TikTok or Instagram without disturbing anyone beside me. These are pretty good for those use cases, but for music, or if you care about sound quality in general, there's a reason why those open earbuds are so expensive. So maybe for this price, just get a normal half-in-ear like the Halo GT6 or any in-ear buds instead. It's gonna be much better. Okay, that's pretty much everything I've got. Let's now check out the microphone test and we'll conclude the video right after. Alright, welcome everyone to the microphone test, and here we are recording with the front microphone of my phone. So this is how it sounds like right now. It's quite noisy still, and if you're asking, usually I record down there right beside the street. That's because we are testing very cheap earbuds. I'll try to give it some space and let these earbuds, because usually you cannot hear anything down there. So hopefully you can hear something here. Let's check it out. Okay, so here we are now with the Nakamichi TWS 1XS, and what do you think of this sound quality? And it sounded pretty good for something this cheap, like under $10. That's pretty surprising. So let's move on to the next one right now. Alright, so here we are now with the Nakamichi TWS 015 with this small piece. And what do you think of the sound quality? So yeah, this is what it sounds like. Testing 1, 2, 3. Let's move on to the next earbud right now. Alright, here we are now with the Nakamichi TWS 016 EN. So this could be the first big leap in terms of microphone quality, but for ENC right now, please don't mind listening to my ear like this. So what do you think of the sound quality? Does this perform significantly better compared to the two before? Because it costs like about twice the price of the 1XS. Let me know if it's worth it. Let's check out the next one. Okay, so here we're now with the biggest case. I really forgot the name here, probably 022 ENC or something like that. What do you think of the sound quality? From my experience with the 16 ENC, I don't think this really makes a big difference. In terms of volume, it's still very quiet. Although maybe the noise cancellation is a little bit better, but it's not a huge leap. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the 22 ENC. Let's move on to the next one. Right, this is the only model in the list with active noise cancellation. And what do you think of the sound quality? Does this sound any better compared to the other earbuds before? Although, if you've seen from the video before, I really don't recommend this earbud. That's pretty much it. Let's move on to the next one and check out the last Nakamichi ears actually. Okay, probably this is one of the most exciting ones to see how looks like when you wear it. This has the potential to be one of the worst ones because it really doesn't have any stem that places the microphone towards your ear. But anyway, what do you think of the sound quality? I would compare with the other Nakamichi. Which one is the best one you think? Let me know down in the comments below. And that's gonna be pretty much it for the video. Get back upstairs now and we'll finish it over there. Alright, this one took way longer than expected, but I really hope it was helpful. Comment down below, do I make you buy or not buy any of these Nakamichis? And also let me know which brand do you want to see next. I'll probably check out Lenovo, but there's also a lot more to cover. So in the meantime, check out my Basis review right here, or here is my review of the legendary Moondrop Space Travel that's just too good to be true, and it's just 25 bucks. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Kenneth. Sampai jumpa.